You tune into the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. For those of you who didn't know, I did a quickie show today because I wanted to put something out there in regards to entrepreneurship. I've had a couple brothers and sisters send me private messages saying, Ice Man, will you please say something about business? So I felt it was overdue for me to go ahead and do that. I wanted to do it. This is a part 2 of the Art of Bullshitting. And I wanted to talk about some things that I didn't talk about or I touched on but didn't extrapolate on part 1. And well, actually, before I get deep into that, let me make an announcement. We will be doing a show tomorrow on Blog Talk Radio. The show starts promptly at 3 p.m. Central Time. So those of you on the East Coast and the West Coast, you're going to have to make some adjustments. But again, tomorrow we will have a show on blogtalkradio.com/The Iceman Show. And we're going to be talking about shit, I forgot what we're going to be talking about. Give me a second here. Gotta sign in. Hate I gotta sign in every time I come in here. It's really annoying to have to do that. Let's see. American women, Mr. Iceman, I don't want to be alone. So we're going to talk about how women live recklessly through their younger lives, and then when they get older and sick and beat down, all of a sudden they want to run out here and get a good man. I talked to somebody last week about this type of shit. Talked to a female, and she called herself trying to come at me with that bullshit, and I told her that I wasn't gonna be no safe haven for old bitches. Okay, I'm not gonna be a safe haven for old women. Okay, that's not. I'm not interested in that. That's not happening. Okay, but just wanted to say all that to say this. Blog Talk Radio tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Time. The Iceman Show on blogtalkradio.com. Come by and check us out. The guest call-in number is area code 347-945-7663. Anyway, let's get back to part 2 of the Art of Bullshitting. I have my notes laid out here, and now I've lost them. What we need to, what I'm going to talk about here is some things that I think are very relevant. I want to talk about this Charles Ramsey situation, the brother who is the accidental hero in this whole kidnapping situation in Cleveland. This brother, he's a street brother. We all know that. But my frat brother posted something that said that he used to attend Central State University, which is in Wilberforce, Ohio. So apparently he did go to college. He's just a street brother. You know, he ain't really ghetto. He's just a street brother. But he articulated something that really resonated with Black America. And what he said was, something must seriously be wrong when a white girl runs to the arms of a black man to save them. Now, obviously, I'm paraphrasing. Okay? It is. I agree with that. Because the way black men have been demonized in the media, what white woman is going to run to us for safe refuge? And just like he said, for her to run to him, for him to help her, she must have really been in trouble. Okay? And what a couple of sisters on Facebook that I know were talking about this, and we all were talking about how the reporter cut him off right after he said that. And let me kind of break from the protocol here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this here. This is a prime reason, this is a prime example of why we need to be, black people need to get their shit together. Okay? Because now you can see how institutional propaganda, racist propaganda is distributed in America. It was so good that lay people got a chance to see their bullshit front and center. Okay? It's good that they got a chance to see that, because most black people, most lay persons do not get the chance to see it. They don't get that opportunity. They do not get that opportunity. Okay? They do not get that opportunity. And I'm so glad that they got a chance to get that opportunity to see and to hear the bullshit. The art of bullshitting. This is the reason why black men and black women need to stop playing and get off the consumerism and get off the self-hate and get off the attacking each other and shitting on each other. Because not only is it fucking with our money, but we're donating specimens to the prison industrial complex and to the graveyard. Okay? I wanted to talk about something that happened last week at the athletic club that I'm a member of. Every 6 months they send an email asking members to provide feedback about their home athletic club. What I mean by their home athletic club, the club they signed up at originally. And I take it upon myself to make sure that I fill out these these customer surveys, and I ripped them a new one. I talked about how the girls at the front don't bother to speak to me when I come in. They also think racism has something to do with why they are not they are not friendly toward me as a black man. I also stated that the management is the probably the root of the problem as to why the the subordinates do not do their job effectively. Now, there's a black guy. He's not a brother. He's a black guy who is the department head for customer relations for the front desk people and the people who run the activities desk. He's over them. This guy is so corny. He is so fucking corny. Okay, he's a typical sellout nigga. Okay? The only time he speaks to me is when he's at the front desk. And he'll try to half-ass be friendly. But all the white folks that come in, it's buddy this, buddy that, hey guy, and all this bullshit. Okay? So I specifically talk shit about his employees. So I come in the other day, he tries to get cute. I give the girl my card, she speaks to me, she walks past. I'm on my way to the locker room. He ends up walking near me and says, "Oh, hi, Iceman." He calls me by my first name, which I thought he was trying to be funny. And he said, like I said in my feedback that the managers never speak. And that is probably the root of the issue as to why customer service is not very good at this athletic club. Okay? If your boss doesn't make it a requirement for you to speak to the guests that come in there, then they're not going to do it. So he says, "Hey, Iceman, how you doing?" And he says it in a smart aleck kind of tone. But I played along and said, "Hey, what's going on?" Okay? First of all, obviously his tone gave himself away, but the fact that he called me by my first name. Okay? I was like, what a piece of shit. You don't have to get mad about the Iceman reporting that that your department ain't doing their job. I wouldn't have to report on your ass if you and your people were doing your fucking jobs. And instead of taking that as an opportunity to improve customer service, this asshole decides to get cute. And let me tell you something. If he was up in Minnesota where their corporate office is, and he was at one of those clubs, they would have fired his ass, as well as his employees. They would have fired him and his subordinates. Okay? They don't play up there. Now, obviously, they can't come way down here to watch these motherfuckers, but like I said, I got the general manager demoted, this Mexican guy. Because, when I first started going to that location, everything was breaking down in there. Towels all over everywhere. It stunk in the shower. There were drains that were stopped up in the shower area. It was just ridiculous. And then I come in there to work out, and the general manager is working out like he's a fucking member, like he's a guest. And I talked about this in one of my older videos. And I said to him, I recognized him. I said, "Hey man, hey, do you know what's wrong with the steam room?" He was like, "No." He was like, "Well, what's wrong with it?" I was like, man, the steam room's not working. How the fuck are you the general manager and you don't know shit is broke in your gym? And I just looked at him like, dude, you the general manager. I called Minneapolis on his ass. Okay? I didn't hesitate to call the main office. They said, oh, really? I said, yeah, all this shit is happening. They was like, sir, we'll take care of it. We'll take it from here. Next thing you know, that motherfucker, he saw me. He had the nastiest look on his face. Oh, he wanted to kill my ass. And then about a week later, after he mean mugged me that day, he had, there was a white dude that came in there and they put his picture up in the front of the club and it says that he's the general manager. So he got demoted. Okay? Don't ever miss, don't ever, don't ever downplay your effect on a business when you complain about the service or the food or the products they offer. Don't think you don't make a difference. That's why see, black people like to not complain about stuff, especially when they're dealing with non-blacks. Now, if it's dealing with another black person, yeah, they'll go back there and call the manager on your ass. But if it's a white girl being nasty toward them, or some old Mexican, or an Asian person being nasty toward them, they'll sit there and let them get away with it. Okay? They'll let them get away with that shit. Okay? We need to stop this shit, man. Okay? But this guy, and then when I went in, and then too, about 2 weeks ago, I come in there, they hired some new Mexican chick to work the front desk. I come in, she gonna grab my card, not say nothing. And I was already in a shitty mood. And I took my card back. I said, oh, and good morning to you too. I said, you know you're supposed to speak when we come in here. Man, she had a scared look on her face. Okay? I said, I yelled at her. I said, you're supposed to speak when we come in here. Why do I have to speak to you? Why do I have to remind you that that you're in the customer service business, not me? Okay? I don't cut these motherfuckers no slack down here in Stank Antonio because these motherfuckers down here are so goddamn lazy. They are so fucking lazy. Okay? Nobody has the something for nothing mentality more than San Antonians. Okay? You ain't gonna take your ass to school and get an education or get a certification in something so that you can get a good job. Instead, you're gonna sit here and hate on people who went to the military or hate on people who go to college and get their degrees and actually have something to contribute to society. Okay? That's why when all these little haters that leave messages talking about a college degree ain't shit, these are probably felons or ex-convicts and guys who started college but then dropped out because they couldn't handle it for whatever reason. And I'm not, I don't see anything wrong with you quitting on yourself. What I have a problem with is when you try to leave messages trying to discourage people who are trying to go to school. Maybe that's all they got going. And for you to think you're going to come on my channel and leave shitty messages talking about the Iceman don't know what he talking about, telling you to go to college and all this kind of shit. Let me explain something to me. Everybody ain't a loser like you. Okay? Everybody, there's actually some young black men and women who listen to my videos who actually are trying to get somewhere in life, and if all they have right now is going to college to get a bachelor's degree, then so be it. I support them. Because I wouldn't be sitting here today had I not got my bachelor's degree and now 2 master's degrees. Okay, even tonight earlier, I was looking at doctorate and PhD programs online, not online programs, but universities out of state, particularly University of Minnesota. I'm looking to get my PhD in social work, because I plan on teaching on the university level in the next 3 or 4 years. Okay? I'm in relatively good health, and I don't plan on retiring. So I want to be able to teach on the university level. That has been something I've been wanting to do for years. Okay? And if I got to go and spend $40,000 more on a PhD or a doctorate program that's going to put me on the university level, then damn it, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, yeah, I got family that was talking shit about me getting this master's degree in social work after I wouldn't got an MBA. Fuck them. I had a cousin call me tonight talking shit, talking about how come I ain't out there in them streets. I was like, for what? For what? I don't feel I wasn't planning on going out on no date with nobody tonight. I wasn't planning on doing no shit like that. I got too much work to do because of this program. I got too much work to do. And I need to finish this fucking book. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to do some writing today, and I ended up falling asleep on the couch. But it's gonna get done. If I'm a write tomorrow. Okay, that's why I gotta stop staying up late so I can make sure I get my rest. Okay. The art of bullshitting. You got a lot of people in customer service jobs or in jobs that serve the public, and they don't have the right mentality and the right mindset to do their job. I'm not going to put up with that when I'm spending my fucking money. Okay? I ain't going to put up with it. I'm not going to put up with it, dog. There's something, you know what, I called a banking institution, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I called a banking institution to get some information on opening a business account. And this Hispanic chick answered the phone, because it's an 800 number. And I just asked her some simple questions about what documents and stuff I need to bring in to open up a business account. Do you know this chick was so dumb? She didn't even know what a nonprofit business was. I swear to God, man, this girl sounds so ignorant on the phone. Because see, Hispanics down here, most of them are not qualified for their jobs. Okay, let me give you another, and I'm going to get back to this, but I'm going to go off on a side note real quick. I'm trying to put an ad in the local newspaper here. And the account manager is some little Mexican chick that's handling my account. She put my business down as an LLC instead of a nonprofit corporation. She's made that mistake twice. And I finally, I finally sent her an email back calling her incompetent. Because I was just like, you know what? You're incompetent. How can you mess this up two or three times? I mean, and then this chick takes I don't know how long to get back to me. I was like, these Mexicans down here are incompetent. But they hire them because they get their buddies in there, whether they are qualified or not. You know, it's just, let me tell you something. I'm not going to help one of my relatives get a job if they're not qualified or if they're not intelligent, because I don't want them to get the job and then make a fool out of me. Okay? But see, they don't have no gumption and no kind of they don't have no scruples. So it's not uncommon to see them do that type of shit. This big head bitch. Bitch thinks she's so fucking fine because she got an old bullshit ass fake and baked tan. Anyway, back to the chick that when I was calling the banking institution. She made me so angry that I finally said to her, I said, you know what? You're stupid as fuck. I said, you know what? You're ignorant. I said, how the hell do you not know what a nonprofit corporation is? She was like, sir, I didn't know. I don't know what that is. And I mean, she sounds so fucking ignorant. Man, I hung up in that bitch's face. I said, you know what? You really don't need to be answering the phone because you don't know shit. I talked to her just like that. I said, you are dumb as fuck. I said, you ain't shit. And I hung up in that bitch's face. Boy, she was so embarrassed. She was like, I didn't know what you were talking about. And what is that? I was like, you stupid as fuck. The art of bullshitting. Okay? Just dumb. And some of these motherfuckers do have college degrees, and they're still dumb. Because a lot of these schools, the private schools here, like University of Incarnate Word, which is a Catholic school, and St. Mary's University, a lot of these Our Lady All Up in the Lake University, a lot of the private Catholic universities here, they ain't that, they're not that demanding. They're not that demanding on especially on Mexicans that go to their schools. They're not that demanding. Okay? Just like our undergrad campus is a little easier on San Antonio motherfuckers. Well, that's one thing I heard, that if you're Mexican and you're from San Antonio, they'll let you in anyway, even though you're not qualified to go to the University of Texas. They'll let some of them in because of that. Okay? Fucking ridiculous, man. Just not qualified. But that bitch was stupid as fuck. I just went ahead and told her. So you know what? You're stupid. Okay? One thing that really bothers me about America is the hypocrisy of when it comes to decency in this country. The geist of decency. is amazing to me. It's funny to me how white people try to act like America is so moral and so ethical and all this kind of shit, and and we're so God fearing, and yet these are the same people who call you nigger to your face, call you nigger behind your back. They don't want you living in their neighborhood. They don't want their kids going to school with you. They don't want their daughters dating you. They don't want their daughters bringing your black ass over there for a sleepover. But yet they're God fearing. Okay, and let me just read some comments by some of the players who really left some great comments about part one. And let me read some. Let me read some of the. Let me read some of the comments by some of the brothers and sisters who left comments. My man Benjamin 42779, he wrote, American history is created by one thing: deception. Deception is used as a weapon to systematically control the psyche of the people because it is a way to hide or exclude any outside influences to maintain a stronger image of a white supremacist social group. Let me stop right there. He wrote some more stuff, but let me just stop right there. What Benjamin 42779 is saying is exactly what I'm trying to say in this video. What the founding fathers created was this cloak of so-called decency, and just like the lies they tell. Well, the reason why Jefferson and all of them wanted to break away from the UK is because of persecution, because of religion. First of all, the people that came here were nothing but heathens. Okay, Europeans were heathens. Okay, they had no sense of government. They had no sense of nothing. All it was the monarchies and the managerial class who were the folks who ran the daily operations of the government of the township and all of that, and the hamlets or whatever. And then they had the poor people. Okay, they had the poor, the peasant class. That's why when they start talking about feudalism and all that type of shit, you should read up on that shit. Okay, the first homelessness and all that type of shit, and vagrancy and drug use and all that old ignorant type shit, all that shit, and prostitution and being drunk in public, all that shit comes from England. Okay, read up on that shit on feudalism. You'll get an education. Okay, the so-called founding fathers of this country realized that they could come here and set out on their own and break away from the UK and get rich. And what a wonderful way for aristocratic white males to set up a society that speaks to their bullshit. That's all America was set up for. Okay? Now, and I'm gonna get, there's a brother that left a really great message, and I'm gonna have to jump after I get done with this message. I'm gonna have to jump to what he said, because what he said is actually pertinent to what we're talking about right here. But let me finish Benjamin 42779's comment. When deception starts to fade away, the social group, and what he means, the dominant social group, white people, loses power, and anything that is deemed actual facts regarding historical significances are easily flawed. Let me break that down. This brother, this is a very sharp brother right here. Let me break that down to layman's terms. Basically, what he's saying is what I've been talking about, which is the fact that a lot of what America's foundation was built on, all of that bullshit of, oh, we founded this country on, on religious persecution and God and country and all that's lies. What they wanted to do is break away from the UK and start their own shit. That's why they came. That's why they fought the British and we got our independence. It had nothing to do with religion. And they slaughtered all millions of Native Americans in order to take this country. Okay? Just like they lie in the history books that black people were the only slaves. Black people were not the only slaves. First white people, then Native Americans, then us. And that's why, and also, people try to act like the Spanish, when they took Puerto Rico and Hispaniola and parts of the United States and Central America and South America, they try to sit up here and say that, oh, well, we don't come from a class of slaves. And I had to educate this dumbass Mexican dude. I had to educate him. I said, hey man, let me tell you, let me give you a history lesson, because it's obviously you don't know any better. And I said to him, I said, hey man, what do you call somebody coming to your country, forcing their Catholic religion down your throat? You speak original native language, and then they force you to start speaking Spanish. And then on top of that, they force you to work in those mines and work agriculture, and then they also bring in Chinese indentured servants and Africans as slaves to work with you. Okay, that's why some Mexicans have look Chinese. Some of them look Asian. Why? Because they went over to China. The Spanish got Chinese and brought them over here to work their asses to death, as well as Africans. So when Mexicans call us mayate and nigga and all this kind of stuff, they look stupid because they are mixed with black and Chinese and mainly Native American. And I told the guy, what do you call being forced to speak somebody else's language, work for free, and then getting Catholicism rammed down your throat? Sounds like slavery to me, dog. He shut the fuck up when I said that to him. I said, dude, you got this shit, you got your history twisted. You got your history twisted, dog. Your people were enslaved just like mine were. Okay, just like one of my older videos, I explained how this Mexican honor student got a chance to study in Spain. She always wanted to go to Spain. And she went over there trying to act like she was fucking Caucasian, and she got checked. And a Spanish student said to her, she asked her, where are you from? She said, oh, I'm from Mexico. Actually, she came over here as an illegal immigrant, and she was real smart. And she said, well, I'm Mexican. She said, but I'm from America. And the Spanish student said to her, she said, oh, you're from one of our colonies. You're not Spanish. And that broke that girl's heart, man. She thought she was white. She said, oh, you're from one of our colonies. Okay? She put her ass in her place. The art of bullshitting. Okay? But they have this geist of decency in America that's a fucking joke. Okay? You go to the South or the Midwest, you see a church on every corner. You see more churches than liquor stores. And yet this is one of the most hateful places for a black person to live. Yet these people are supposed to be so God-fearing and love God, but they hate niggas and won't share the wealth. Okay? Just like you got all these old phony ass businesses that are making money off veterans and military down here, and yet they don't want to give no money to charities that deal with the veterans and military. Okay? Let alone giving these guys jobs when they get out of the military. Okay? They are so fucking phony. Okay? But that's okay. I'm going to get their money one way or the other. Okay? But they also try to push this thing that whites are smarter. Now, it's just like, I think Logician 3 was saying to me one time, he said, Ice, you know, a lot of Africans had oral education. So everything was taught to them orally. They didn't really write. Some Africans wrote things down. The Egyptians obviously wrote things down. But some of the Western Africans didn't write things down. And they learned orally. And they said that's probably one of the contributing factors as to why black children struggle in public school. Okay? Doesn't mean they're dumb. It just means that that's the way they learn. Okay? Rote memory is the basis for our education system. Okay? Multiple choice questions and shit like that. That does not test intelligence. I'll give you an example. I was dating this white girl that had a master's degree in something science related. And when I started asking her how to apply science to real life, she started tripping over herself and she couldn't really explain what she's got a fucking master's degree in. Now she could explain to you, you know, how to do a scientific study or how to, you know, do the lab work and all that. But when you start trying to talk about genetics and, I mean, not that bullshit textbook shit, but to actually apply what she knew to real life, she couldn't do it. She struggled. Okay? And when they're cornered like that, they look stupid as hell. Okay? I do that to white people all the time. And it's hard for them to deal with it. It's hard for them to deal with it. They were like, well, why are you beating me up? So I'm not trying to beat you up. I'm not trying to beat you up. But I'm trying to find out if you really know what the fuck you supposed to be knowing. Looks to me like you don't. And let me cover something that Super Black Dragon Rage, my U.S. Navy homie, brought up that I want to expound on. A lot of you guys don't. Do you know what red muscle is? Do you guys know what red muscle and white muscle is? Red muscle is what a person needs for strength, power, agility, and speed. Okay? That's what they need. Red muscle is dominant. That comes from dominant genetics. White muscle is the person slower, weaker. They have no explosive power and speed, and their large motor movements are slow and contrived. Okay? Lacking speed and power. Black people have more red muscle than white muscle. Now, in my case, because I'm not that, I mean, I'm athletic, but I'm not as athletic as my dad or some of my brothers were. And I don't jump as high, definitely not now. And I'm not as fast. I mean, I was fast in high school and college only because I worked my ass off. Whereas my older brothers and my dad didn't have to, especially my darker skinned brothers, they didn't have to work at it. My dad used to be fast as hell in high school. Had my dad been living in a different time, my dad would have ended up playing college football. Okay? Red muscle is dominant. White muscle is recessive. Okay? White muscle is recessive. Okay? Just like having a small penis is recessive, and that does not genetically come from African people. That comes from Caucasians. So black men who have small penises, that does not come from us. That comes from mixing with white people. And like I said, I'm not saying all this to be mean. I'm just telling the truth. Just like white people are not smarter than us. But they have the advantage of getting a better education than we do. Their system, it plays to their strengths and minimizes their weaknesses, where it plays to our weaknesses and minimizes our strengths. Okay? The Art of Bullshit. The Art of Bullshitting. I got into a heated discussion with a white boy talking about white male virility. And he was saying that he does not believe that most white males have virility issues and low testosterone issues. And I said to him, well then how come my experiences in the military, my experiences in the workplace say different? Why do my experiences with the white males I've been around say something different? He couldn't answer that. Oh, he couldn't answer that. He said, well, I have a medium-sized penis and I don't have any issues with getting with not being able to slang pipe. I said, well, you are definitely the in the minority. Okay, just like I had one of my stupid ass cousins call me tonight talking dumb shit, and he talking about, man, you know, I don't agree that white dudes got issues like that. I said, man, What are you, a white man cheerleader? What are you, the fucking cheerleader or something? I mean, this cousin is ignorant anyway. I mean, he one of these guys to be chasing white bitches and shit and lying about it. I said, man, you be giving them white bitch them like he up here fucking with a 50-year-old white bitch and he bragging about that shit. I said, dude, you're fucking a chubby ass old white woman that the white man don't want. What does that say about your macking skills? Oh, he got mad as hell. I said, man, you stupid. I said, the Iceman ain't no safe haven for fat ass, old ass white women that the white man don't want. I want to fuck white women that the white man want to fuck. Not necessarily because I find them to be superior in appearance, but I just want to be able to show the white man that I can get what he can get. So why am I going to be safe haven for some old raggedy ass, old ass, fat ass white woman who can't get a decent black man or get a decent white man if she tried? That shit pisses me off when I get black men who act like that. Okay? That shit gets on my nerves when I deal with black men who try to sit up here and act like, it's okay to be a safe haven for whack ass, broke ass white women or fat or old ass black women. You ain't gonna be no safe haven over in my camp. You dig? You ain't gonna be no goddamn safe haven in my goddamn camp. Let me read something that one of the players said that really made sense. And I really didn't get what he wrote at first, but after I read some other comments, and then I went back and reread his comment later on in the evening, now I understand where he was coming from, and I answered his response. Let me see if I can find what he said. And it's from Supreme Amin Ra. And I'm not gonna read his first response. I'm gonna read his second response. And he wrote. He said, in a general sense, yes, you lose people with certain terminology. White means royalty, and to smear the status of whiteness, you will alienate those who potentially empathize with you. Now, I agree with that when you're talking about the non-blacks who listen to my videos, who are on the fence and know that I'm telling the truth. Because you got to understand something. So, some people, when it comes to whiteness, if they're white, that's all they got, man. That's their whole card. That's all they got working for them. That's the only thing that makes them feel like they're somebody and makes them feel like they're superior to somebody. So when they hear the Iceman talking shit about that being white ain't and I'm giving a genetic and a biological basis or physiological basis for why whiteness is not superior and is actually inferior, these folks do get turned off and don't want to hear it. But they'll come back and listen because they claim I'm entertaining. Okay? But they know I'm telling the truth about their asses. Now, you do have some black people like my cousin that called me tonight who just loves whiteness. He loves whiteness. I mean, this is the same guy who called me and said, hey, man, I'm addicted to white women. And, hey, man, that pale skin is so beautiful. He said some shit like that one day. I hung up in his face. I said, man, don't call me talking about no pale skin shit. I said, how the fuck can you look at pale skin and it look beautiful to you? Hell, it don't look beautiful to them. That's why they go and get it and get tanned. Because that shit don't look right. I've had plenty of white women say to me that they were jealous that I had beautiful brown skin. And I don't have to tan to get it. I've had a couple white women say that to me. Like I said, them white folks are, I'll tell you, man, a lot of black folks don't know this. These motherfuckers are jealous of us. They got to work 10 times as hard to look as good as we do. And they still don't look as good. That's why white women get offended when I go to the athletic club and I don't look at them. Oh, they get a nasty look on their face. I had this little blonde looking crazy at me today because every time I see her, I turn my nose up at her ass. Okay? They don't like that shit because in their world, if they're not fat, white boys, oh, you're beautiful. You know, they go around white folks know they have to constantly give each other compliments. Hey, you're beautiful. Because they're on some old shallow, superficial, dumb shit anyway. Okay? Let me read the rest of what he wrote here. Yo, Ice, niggas don't share your brain power or your moral intuition. Tell a nigga we bros and sisters cause of color hasn't and will never work. He's right about that. Like I said, I don't call all black women sisters. Just because somebody black, I'm not going to call you a brother or sister. You have to earn that. And when I say brother and sister, I'm mainly talking about the select few black women and men who listen to my videos who've been rolling with the Iceman since day one. And he said something very interesting. He said, Ice, if you can point out to these folks that the system they believe in is not to their benefit, maybe you will gain power in numbers. Well, I agree and I disagree with that. First of all, it's just like I told people back in the day. I'm not changing my format that much. Now, obviously, once I go to a live show, I'm going to make some changes. But I'm not going to stop being raw and in your face. I'm not going to stop doing that. Okay? I'm not. I'm not really trying. See, the thing is, what a lot of people don't understand is that I'm not trying to be super popular. I'm not trying to have a bunch of people listening to me who just are listening to me because I'm entertaining. Okay? I want people to listen to me because they're trying to get educated. That's what I want. Okay? Let me read something that a brother wrote. King, I think it. Let me see here. Is this? No. It's another brother. Oh, it's Dhan 219. This brother wrote something that was funny as fuck. He said, Ice, and I'm paraphrasing. I was at a sports brawl watching the playoffs, and I'm sitting at the bar, and there's a group of fat, out of shape white women sitting on the other end of the bar looking at me. He said one of them had the nerve to get up and come all the way over there and tell me that one of their fat, fugly ass fucking cousins or friends or whatever thought he was cute. He said he said he looked over there and kept watching the fucking TV. Okay? And see, just like I told my stupid ass ignorant cousin tonight, I told him, I said, hey man, you know, I'm not gonna be you know what, these same white women that are fucking with you right now 30 years ago wouldn't have gave you the time of day. Okay? These are the white women who have the nerve to look you up and down. That's niggers trying to talk to me. But 10 years later, now that bitch is on online dating trying to fuck niggas. Okay? Fuck them white hoes. Like I said, again, the Iceman ain't no safe haven for broken down fuglies and fatties and white women who the white man has discarded with the morning garbage. I'm not that dude. I'm not providing safe haven to broken down fatties and fatties and fuglies. Okay, I got on the elevator and like I was telling y'all last year, the chairperson of the social work department is a brother who got his PhD from Howard University. He's an Army veteran, disabled vet, and every time I see him, I always speak. And I was getting ready to go to class one day, and I saw him in the elevator. He was in there with this old white woman. I don't know who she was. And I get on the elevator. As a matter of fact, she's a professor. I've never had her though. And I get on the elevator and I see him and I start smiling. I say, "Hey, how you doing, Dr. Teasley?" And he said, "Oh, hi, how you doing, man?" And so when I turned around toward the door in the elevator, I looked out the corner of my eye. That white woman, I didn't say anything to her. And man, that white woman gave me the nastiest fucking look. She gave me a nasty look. And I was just sitting there laughing to myself. Now you know how we feel, you white bitch. Okay? Now you know how we feel when you motherfuckers don't speak to us. You know how white folks do. They'll come to the job, come in the break room, speak to all the white folks, won't say shit to your black ass. Okay? I didn't say nothing to her. Okay? Man, she had a nasty look on her face. Like, how dare he not speak to me? Bitch, you ain't nobody. Old wrinkled up ass. Look like a fucking mummy. See, I was too tired to go to my little spot over here in North Central, over here in Stone Oak. I usually go over there when I get a little time off to peep at some bitches. But I didn't even, man, I'm too tired, man. I got to get finished with this book. I got to write all day tomorrow except for the show. And I don't even know if I'm going to get up and go to the gym. So I got a lot of work to do. Anyway, that bitch got mad as a motherfucker. And like I said, the type of reaction I get from most white women who because I purposely turn my nose up at them, whether they're attractive or not. Because a lot of them have the nerve to try to give me that look like, oh yeah, I'm fine. White guys think I'm beautiful, and I'll give them a nasty ass fucking look. They ain't used to that. So whenever they see me again in the athletic club, they have that look on their face like, oh nigger, how dare you not think I'm beautiful. Okay? Like I said, vanity is everything to women in America, and specifically white women. That's the only confidence they have is white dudes falling all over them. Oh, you're not fat. You're beautiful. Okay? And like I said, yeah, some of these white girls got some banging bodies, but so what? Most of them still got average looking faces or below average looking faces. But some white dude fell for their bullshit and fucked around and married this sorry hoe. Like I said, most of the guys I see down here who are married, they're fucking simps. Okay? Most of them are simps. And like I said, white women are professionals at picking husbands. And like I said, they'll go get some boring ass, sorry little weak ass little dude because they don't want any competition. White women, I'm gonna tell you right now, white women, especially white women, very seldom do they get a very good looking boyfriend. And you notice when they do, they have nothing but problems. Because a good looking white guy and a good looking white woman. See, one thing you need to understand is physically fit, good looking white males and females are a rarity within their race. They're a rarity. Look at most white people around where you live at, or where you cohabitate. Most of those white people are not attractive. Most of them are goofball looking. Most of them are just, even if they're not fat, they're still chunky looking. Okay? Most of them are funny looking and non-athletic looking. Okay? Which is why they're so jealous of us when we come in the gym. And especially when you go to these high-end athletic clubs. When you go to these high-end athletic clubs, these really educated, rich white males, they really, because see, a lot of these white males like to go join these athletic clubs and try to act like they some serious athlete. And then somebody like me come in there and make them feel small. And then they have that look on their face. And these are the main white boys that try to start some shit with you in the gym. Cam Master 84 said something about that. How non-athletic white dudes at the high-end athletic clubs will try to walk in front of you and start some shit. Or they'll try to bump into you. You know, try to see if you a weak-ass O.J. Simpson type nigga. Okay, just like on that older video I told y'all how I ran over that dude on the basketball court. I don't play. They know I'll knock their asses out. So some of them won't even pull that shit. But some of them that haven't seen me, or you know, haven't, you know, seen me, a lot of them will try that type of shit. Okay? Anyway, let me bring this video to a close so I can go to bed. You tune into the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. I hope you guys are learning something. Be on the lookout for the book. Holler at your boy. Oh, by the way, we got a show tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Time, blogtalkradio.com/the Iceman. Holla!